As the country continues to grapple with inflation and rising prices of food and other commodities, governments at all levels are working tirelessly to find solutions to ease the burden on Nigerians. We will be taking a closer look at the recent developments and initiatives aimed at addressing high cost of living and improving the overall economic situation in the country. This is our focus on Panorama today from Ibadan, Network Center of the NTA. I'm Kemi Akinwande. Thank you for joining us. The federal government has tasked the newly appointed board of the Nigerian Christian Pilgrim Commission to demonstrate unwavering devotion and commitment in addressing challenges facing the nation. Vice President Kashim Shettima gave the charge when he received members of the board at the presidential villa, acknowledges President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's positive impact on the nation, attributing the president's success to divine blessings and purity of his heart. The vice president said there is need for leaders to invest in building bridges, noting President Tinubu's contributions in providing an alternative platform for the Nigerian political system. Executive Secretary, Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission, Bishop Stephen Adegbite, expressed gratitude to President Tinubu for the opportunity to serve on the board. He also commended the Vice President's exceptional leadership role, recounting instances of support for the church and efforts to foster peace and harmony.
And we believe by the grace of God, Nigeria will soon come out of the quagmire. Nigeria belongs to God, and we are here during the Lenten season. The Muslim community will soon join us, and by the grace of God, before the end of the true Lent and fasting period, Nigeria will be stronger again. This is the country that we have. There is no other place that can be like Nigeria. Nigeria is one of the most luckiest nations in the world. And I say to all Nigerians, let us join hands together with Mr. President. They have good intention for this nation. Mr. President don't want anyone to suffer. The Vice President don't want anyone to suffer. And by his grace, Nigeria will be a better place for you and I.
Mission's role goes beyond pilgrimage as it extends to the duty of ensuring a harmonious environment for the nation. The Federal Ministry of Works has concluded arrangements for the repair of the damaged expansion joints on the Long Bridge along the Lagos-Shagamu Expressway. Consequently, the ministry, in a statement by the Federal Controller of Works in Lagos, Olukorede Kesha, has slated Monday, 4th of March 2024 for the commencement of works. While the repair is expected to affect both lanes of the bridge simultaneously, the Federal Ministry of Works stated that the construction area will be narrowed to 2 lanes on both sides to enable the contractor handling the repair to commence works on the other 2 lanes of the carriageways. The statement further advised all road users to be patient and adhere to lane discipline on both approaches to the Long Bridge and around its narrowed sections, assuring that the earth road beside the Shagamu-bound carriageway will be made motorable to serve as complementary road. The Ministry of Works, however, encouraged other road users to seek alternative routes to their destinations while advising motorists to cooperate with the traffic management officials deployed to manage traffic and ensure hitch-free movements to minimize discomfort during the duration of the repair works. The federal government has pledged commitment to the provision of electricity in Nigerian universities through the use of biogas to reduce costs and ensure stability. Minister of Education Tahir Mamman stated this while inaugurating some projects at Bayero University, Kano. Yahanasu Hassan Barau tells us more.
The project inaugurated by the Minister of Education Tahir Mamman includes a micro-teaching laboratory, Department of Anatomy in Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, and the Center for Reading Research.
To commission this structure, similar.
The minister says the facilities are coming handy at the time when Nigeria needs well-nurtured researchers that can take the country to greatness. This is the solar plant at Bayero University, Kano, with more than 3,000 megawatts. But this place is no more functioning. When resuscitated, it will ensure provision of electricity not only to Bayero University, Kano, but to communities close to the university.
Strange, you move into a university, they don't know what is happening, they are not part of the execution, the conception, execution of the project. And then it fails like this, and then they have nobody to hold account. So we'll bring the might of the federal government to ensure that people are here to account on this.
Another point of call was one of the centers of excellence at the university, the Center for Dryland Agriculture, where a breakthrough has been recorded in the area of research, where the center now collaborates with private sectors to achieve sustainable food production and quality health. In Kano, Yahana Sahasambaro, NTA News.
Federal government says all plans have been concluded for the commencement of food distribution to vulnerable Nigerians nationwide. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, says the flag off for the distribution of the grains would be in Niger State and consequently in other zones of the Federation. The minister reveals that the Office of the National Security Advisor and all relevant shareholders will partner to ensure smooth and transparent distribution of the food items. Niger State government has also procured more than 120 trucks of assorted grains to complement that of the federal government food palliative distribution. He says President Bola Tinubu is expected to be in the state next week for the distribution of the food items.
We are going to start making deliveries, and as they go, and we are targeting local governments anyway. So we take it to the states and then on to the local government. So it will be on the template of NEMA. NEMA is the one doing the distribution, and the Office of the National Security Advisor.
We will continue to cultivate. The only way out of this crisis is to go back to agriculture.
And as part of efforts to increase food production and reduce inflation in Nigeria, government at all levels is working assiduously to alleviate the suffering of the people. In Oyo State, the government has announced the suspension of revenue collection on farm produce for the next 6 months within the state. This, among many other interventions, would go a long way to ease the economic burdens on the residents. Grace Ayolike brings us details.
The saying that desperate times calls for desperate actions cannot be truer than the situation the country is facing at present as a result of global economic crisis, as well as economic policies that the government is committed to make in order to save the country from economic recession.
Rice, 1 Congo is 3,000. How many will I buy for my family to eat? So the government should do something fast.
They should control the prices of things. No matter how they increase the minimum wage, it will still not solve the problem.
The government, not unaware of the effects of its austere measures, like the increase in cost of goods and services, has been working round the clock to ameliorate these difficulties faced by the citizens.
If we look around, government are subsidized for, which means allow the prices of their food item to come down.
Data suggests production, this should be the state with the lowest food inflation in the country.
The federal government, amongst other things, is set to embark on a massive food distribution to vulnerable Nigerians nationwide. This program, according to the Minister for Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, would start off in Niger State and then spread to other states of the Federation. State governments are also not left out in this battle against hunger and lack, as many of them have rolled out programs to subsidize transportation and food. In Ibadan, Grace Anyoleke, NTA News.
And now with me in the studio is the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, Oyo State, Abosedi Abiyoyi. Madam, you're welcome to Panorama Studios.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me on the program. Good afternoon, dear viewers.
Yeah, now, thank you for obliging us, to address some of the burning issues in the hearts of our viewers. Now, we know that there's this popular saying that when food is available, then we can say there is an end to poverty. Now, so many things are on the high side, but let's take a look at the usual food items like we just saw in that background. People are saying things are so high. What are the strategies on ground by government, this Oyo State government, to ensure that food is available to the people?
Thank you so much. Just as we all know, Oyo State is, has somebody, a visionary leader as our executive governor. And we all see that with the full removal of subsidy, there is need for every government to ensure that there are strategies to ensure that this situation is brought to a minimal, level. And that is what His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Oyo State, has done in person of Engineer Oluwaseyi Makinde, FNIC, DSC, GSS, RS. He has come up with various initiatives. First and foremost is the committee he constituted last year, that's SAFER, Sustainable Action for Economic Recovery. And this committee, has been saddled to tackle the issues of food scarcity in the state. We have the one that falls under the purview of the ministry, has to do with the distribution of agricultural inputs, which the ministry has been doing, distribution of grains, distribution of fish feeds. As we are speaking, about 2,536 poultry farmers had received grains. That's 50 kg of a bag of grains, 8 bags for a person, for a poultry farmer.
At a reduced cost.
At a reduced cost. And when that one was done, we realized that it really crashed down the high cost of grains in the state. And that really gladdened the hearts of our people. Also, for the second phase, the government distributed fish feeds to all our fish, farmers. 1,000 of fish farmers benefited. And 3 bags of 15 kg were given to each fish farmer. Aside that, on the issue of transportation, government is ensuring that the mobility, trying to get our farm produce to all the marketplaces, becomes very easy to our farmers. And on security, in addition to what the federal government is doing, His Excellency has put in place different security gadgets together with the vehicles.
I'm sure you can go on and on, but let's look at the effectiveness of those initiatives by government. How effective, how have you been ensuring implementation?
Thank you so much. We follow it up because there is need for us to monitor so that we'll be able to evaluate and plan other, put in place other strategies that we need to do. as we do this distribution, we follow it, up, and we ensure that our farmers are using it as expected. And we have been getting feedbacks from all of them vis-a-vis the associations, different associations, because we work with them. We have the All Farmers Associations, AFAN, we have the poultry.
I was just coming to that, what's your collaboration with the associations and even members of the public?
Very fantastic, because Oyo State is so good in doing PPP, and we so much believe in our, stakeholders. They've been coming for several meetings with the Honorable Commissioner for the ministry, just to, we need to plan together, because they are the end users.
Yes.
They know better.
Talking about end users, what's your advice to the people at this time as we round up the discussion?
In addition to that, His Excellency met with all our farmers one-on-one about 2 days ago, and he was able to get information, direct information from them, just like the Ministry of Agriculture has been doing, and he has come up with other palliatives in terms of having, clearing land, just like
people to accept all this on ground.
Yes. And my advice, candid advice from the Ministry of Agriculture, is just for our people to calm down. They need to be patient, because for when policies are formulated, there are procedures to follow. And before we can start, seeing the multiplier effect, there is need for our people, the farmers, to be calm and to embrace all these, these initiatives.
Thank you very much, Madam,
so that they will be able to use it
on
to
Panorama.
the letter.
We are
Thank
so
you
happy
so
that
much.
You can oblige us. Thank you for coming, and we
Thank
know
you.
that things are getting better.
Thank you
now,
so
moving
much.
on, we'll take a break for some messages. Panorama continues shortly. Stay with us.
The counsel of our fathers.
I will urge and advise our younger generation to use talent and brain to sort out problems, not arms.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation.
My advice to these young people is please do not take us back to those harrowing days. You probably do not know what it is.
I believe we have fought one civil war too many in this country. So those who experience it will run away from it.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
Thank you for staying tuned. Yoruba traditional rulers have called on government at all levels to use appropriate technology for the effective surveillance of nation's forests and highways with a bid to eradicate banditry and kidnapping in the country. Yoruba monarchs made this appeal at a one-day security summit hosted by Ooni of Ife, Obadiah Ogunwusi. Rotimi Akamo covered the event and filed this report from our studios.
With the primary aim of solving the persistent security challenges in the country, Yoruba traditional rulers, among other personalities in the southwest, converged on Ile-Ife on a one-day summit. The summit, which was convened by the Ooni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Enitan Ogunwusi, condemned the persistent kidnapping act of banditry in the region, which is said should be totally eradicated. Professor Shinya Oyefeso, who read a communique on behalf of Yoruba traditional rulers that attended the summit, called for transformation of Amatekun Security Corps as a way of solving the insecurity in the southwest.
Security summit called for strong support for the administration of President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed in the larger interest of Yoruba race. It also urged other 5 geopolitical zones to give support to President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed. The summit called on local, state and federal government to employ the use of drones and other appropriate technology for the effective surveillance of Yoruba forest and roads.
Various leaders were of the opinion that Yoruba traditional rulers and leaders should work in unity for the sole purpose of combating crime in the region.
NSCDC Oyo State Command has reiterated its commitment to support the government in achieving a dirt-free state with its monthly sanitation exercise. This was as the command embarked on a sanitation exercise within the Ibadan metropolis in commemoration of 2024 Civil Defense Day. Grace Ayoleke brings us details.
In addition to his statutory responsibility of protecting lives and property, officers and men of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Oyo State Command, embarked on environmental protection as part of its programs to mark this year's World Civil Defense Day.
What we are doing here at Mokwala is a community service, and I promised the Honorable Commissioner that on monthly basis, my area commanders and divisional officers all over here, they will pick each market area and clean it.
Commending the efforts of the NSCDC Oyo State, Commissioner for Environment urged all and sundry to join hands with government to rid Oyo State dirt and debris.
Before now, Oyo State was declared one of the dirtiest cities. But what we're doing now is to keep Oyo State sparkling clean. And this is very symbolic to me.
Observed every first day of March, the World Civil Defense Day serves as a reminder of the critical role that civil defense agencies, as the NSCDC, play in safeguarding the people's safety and well-being. In Ibadan, Grace Ayoleke, NTA News.
The Commandant General of the NSCDC, Ahmed Abubakar Audi, has tasked officers of the Corps to serve their nation with honor and distinction, urging them to uphold the mandate of ensuring a safer and more secure Nigeria for all citizens. The Commandant General stated this in a message to the passing out parade of intakes of the Corps posted to Oyo State. Femi Afarugun reports.
After 4 months of rigorous training, the 159 NSCDC intakes in Oyo State showcased their skills in various drills and exercise, demonstrating their readiness to serve and protect the citizens of Nigeria. Commandant General of the NSCDC, represented at the ceremony, commended the dedication and hard work exhibited by the new recruits through their training, urging them to uphold the core values of the NSCDC at all times.
You have been trained, but the training does not end here. You are just starting on the assignment. From time to time, more training will be coming to you as you progress along the line.
It is not worthy to carry out our duties gallantly, fearlessly, diligently, and with humility in service delivery.
Oyo State government advised the intakes to ensure crimes and criminalities are rid of the state.
As we take on the responsibilities of protecting our state, communities, and people, I urge you to remember the importance of upholding the rule of law.
The event also featured celebration of International Civil Defense Day and third year in office of the Commandant General of NSCDC in Osogbo. Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
And now sports with Olumide Iguntola.
Portuguese trainer Jose Pizarro quits his role as Super Eagles coach after his contract with the Nigerian Football Federation expired in February and no agreement for extension.
I think the best decision NFF has done is to help us to part ways with that young man. I applaud the NFF and also appeal to them to please, this time around, get us our own indigenous coaches.
It's an open secret, and it's something I actually saw coming, because the vibe between the NFF and Jose Pizarro was not really good.
In grassroots football development, Ubogu Football Academy, Asaba Delta State, is starting a Catch Them Young program targeted at discovering talent for the various national teams. School students nationwide from ages 14 to 19 will have opportunity to participate in a football tournament tagged Ubogu Unity Cup slated for 10th of May 2024. The initiative is in partnership with ex-international Yakubu Aigbeni Football Academy, with placement opportunities for local and foreign clubs for quality players. From Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola reports that as part of efforts to discover new talent for Nigeria, through the Nigerian Police Games, cyclists across the country's 12 zonal commands participated in the cycling event of the 14th Biennial Games.
It is mass because we are going to combine both male and female for this particular event.
The event, which was 80 kilometers for men and 60 kilometers for women, started at Old Ife Road, Ibadan. In another news, all is now set for Sunday's grand finale of Season 2 of the Dambe Warrior Super Fight, scheduled for Muri Okunla Park, Lagos. The Super Fight will feature the number 1 ranked fighter and number 2 in each division scoring up against each other in 6 bouts for the ultimate prize.
2 out of the 3 people who came in from last season are in the finale this season. That's to show you that the promotional fight is attracting higher talents.
African champion, there is a lot of people that want to come here.
The organizers say the traditional Nigerian combat sport has the potential to showcase the country's cultural heritage to the rest of the world. With sports update, Olumide Gutola, NTA News.
That's been Panorama on the network service of the NTA from Ibadan Zonal Center. Thank you for watching. Have a lovely afternoon.